Hello campers, welcome back to another video. This one I'm going to be doing in segments because I have to have drying time. I will be using acrylic paint so that fairly dries quickly. This is just regular craft paint that you can get at your local craft store or Walmart. And this is, or you can buy it online, you know, if you're not able to get to those places. But this is, I'm just going to be using this on my train case. I remembered yesterday that I had painted a train case through phases. If you check my YouTube channel, there is like a standalone video series about painting the train cases. So I don't have any gesso. I always feel like, or gesso, I guess I always pronounce that wrong. But you can use white paint as a base. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be just using, I'm going to keep the green because I really love the green background. And I don't know if you can tell because of the lighting, maybe just a little bit there, but I did go through with a pencil and I sketched out. It's kind of gotten more, the lighting is not, but I did sketch out some flowers on here that I'm going to be using, the poppy flowers. And so yeah, so I'm going to just kind of do this in steps. I'm not going to paint the whole thing. I'm just going to show you the steps that I'm going to do, and then I'll paint, like, I'll show you an example instead of really explaining. But I'm just using titanium white as a basically as a base to so that when I go to paint the red, it really pops, so, or it has a base down so it doesn't show the green through there. And if I could find my gesso, I think it dried up. I think I actually used it and it dried up. So I think that's what the issue is, because the last few projects that I've done that I had needed a base coat, I just used white paint, and that works fine too. So I did do some outlines. Again, once you get into painting them, then you can get more detail orientated. So this isn't too exciting, it's just putting a base down. And if you ever get a chance to paint your own train case or add Mod Podge, or I mean, not Mod Podge, but do a collage and add, you know, with Mod Podge, do it. It's one of my favorite things to do or have. And like I said, also I love train cases, and I've been collecting them for a while now. In fact, I think I mentioned earlier too that I had to make myself stop buying them because I have no space for them. I do put a lot of craft supplies in them, and like I love doing things like projects like this. We went to the glamping inn for a Crafty Destinations and a couple other events, and me and my daughter painted they weren't train cases, but they were the smaller suitcases, and we put little campers on them and brought them, and you know, it's just fun to make them your own. There's one that I was looking at earlier, and I'll tell you where I put a lot of them, because like I said, I use them for storage. I have one that I picked up at an antique store. Oh man, it's been a while back, and oh my gosh, it's plaid, you guys. It's a tartan plaid. It is the most, it's my Christmas one, you know, so so yeah, so that's kind of what I use. I have all different colors. Also, mine's kind of nostalgic. My mom actually, when we travel and go somewhere, she still carries a train case. She had a Samsonite suitcase set, and hers was the light blue. It looks just like this, and she still carries her. She has all her things in it. She still carries her her train case. You know, like all her cosmetics and you know, medication, I don't know, all the things that you need, you know, kind of like a cosmetic bag. I find it so interesting because also I had to Google. I'm like, why do they call it a train case? You know, and I'm sure y'all might know this already, but I'll tell you what I found out, just in case you didn't. But it's basically when the ladies would travel on the train, they would put all their luggage, you know, not in their space, but if they stayed the night on the train, they would need like a nightgown or night clothes, or, you know, and they would just carry the essentials in their train case to go into the cab of the train. And I have some really old ones. Those are the ones that I have a hard time painting, but like I said, I've gone into thinking I'm going to be doing something different this year, and making things my own. So, but where I have them mostly, so I have a long type house, and so when you walk in, we say the front door, but it's really kind of like a side door. We don't really use our front door. The side door comes into the mud room, and when you walk into the kitchen area, there's the kitchen to your right, and then there's the dining room to your left, and then it's the living room. So what I have so it's very long, and then there's a hallway. I always call it the shining hallway, but it's gotten better. When we first moved here, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the shining hallway, you know, in the hotel. But so anyway, I have this big long, in the dining area, on one side we have our dining table, and on the other side it would probably be a space for, like, if you had like a curio cabinet, a real long, tall, or a china cabinet, you know, more or less. I think it's more or less like a china cabinet. But I don't have a china cabinet, and so we found a church pew, the length of that wall, which is fairly, I would say you could fit 5 people on that church pew. And my friend found them they were at Goodwill. You guys, $20 I got that church pew. Now, it's not the best quality as far as like putting it outside. My friend puts hers on her front porch, and she said, oh, I know it's going to rot away, but for $20, and that's what she has on her front porch that she's had. And so I'm going to flip this over so you get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just putting a base coat in white. There is one on the other side, but I don't want to lay it on this side just yet. There is not, what I meant is there is another flower on the top of this, but I need to kind of like turn it this way, and I don't want to put it down yet on the table with that paint. That's what I meant to say. Sometimes I think you guys just read my mind through the camera. But anyway, I have all my train cases under that pew, and so, like, for example, one of them, and I have my crafting supplies everywhere, you guys. I'm just, and a lot of it, sometimes it's just stuff that we need. I have one that has all, like, stationery, so if you need a thank you card, if you need a blank card or something like that, I have some of my own art cards in there. When I used to do art stationery, which I think I'm about bringing it back, you guys, not gonna lie. So yeah, so I have a one for stationery. One, I have all my tools in it. So, like, my parents bought me a little pink tool set that has a hammer and a measuring tape and a screwdriver and all the things that one might need. And so I have one of that. I have and a lot of them I'll carry, like, for example, that I haven't opened that plaid one up. I'm sure it has Christmas stuff in there, Christmas journaling supplies, because that's usually what I'll take with me if I, you know, go on a trip or something. Like if I go do a little class around Christmas time, I'll bring that full of my supplies. I decorate with them. So yeah, I have lots of things that I do with. For example, this one, even though it has Wizard of Oz, I'll put it under my pew, and that's what I think is going to look so cute. Like, I have a bright orange train case. You don't see sometimes you don't see certain colors, and this is like, I think it would be a perfect Halloween themed one. I have one that's like strictly for art. The latch doesn't, I did that either online or I can't remember how I did that one, but I love it. I love it because it has a big paintbrush. It's just all about art, but the latch gives me issues, so I get nervous about carrying that anywhere. So yeah, so I just have them kind of throughout the house for decorations, and like I said, for storage as well. But I have a really dark navy one. That's one that I'm thinking about. I think would be perfect for like the 4th of July. Hello. What are you guys doing for the 4th? You know, we don't ever really do anything. I was talking to my daughter last night. She goes, how come we don't ever do really anything on the 4th of July? I said, well, in our old house, we did go to a couple parties here and there. Can we see this if I pop it up like this? There we go. You're getting an up front look here of action. But we used to go to, we've gone to a couple of parties, here and there, you know, but, we used to, where our old house was, we used to have, live in the pine trees, and I don't know, we've been through a fire in the pine trees, and was very, very, crazy. And you know, all my life, you guys, all my life, I've never been through anything like a natural disaster, right? And then that happened. I don't know how to handle it. I really went just not, I mean, you go in survival mode. I mean, we were a lucky one. Our house made it, but it was just the weirdest time. And so we always were paranoid about, because everybody would shoot off fireworks within these pine trees, and, you know, being July and it's so hot, we were always like, okay, we're going to be at home in case something happens, you know. So that happened. And then now we have little Pokey Poo Poo, my little dog. And I can't leave him here at the house with all this, with fireworks and stuff going on. And plus, we really are just homebodies. I mean, I know I am. So we're going to cook out, I think we're going to cook out salmon. Oh, and when Brazos was little, I forgot to tell her, I'll have to mention it to her today. I'll never forget, we went to a parade and she won a prize for when, you know, she had her little hat on. It was so cute, and I had her in a wagon. And so yeah, we used to do things, but now I'm a homebody. What can I say? All right, you guys, so you get the idea of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to let this part dry, and then I'm going to start working on, see, this is another flower I have, but I don't want to pop this over either. So I'm going to let this dry, finish painting the white, and then I'll come back. Oh, I just noticed I left these opened, and I painted the other ones. Well, I think I left these open because it's going to be black, and so I thought I don't need like a base coat. So I'll be back in another video when I'm ready to start painting them red. Alright, you guys, so my next step, I got all my flowers with the white paint to create a base, and now I'm just going through with some opaque red acrylic paint. And this way it kind of I really looked for the opaque. I mean, it's actually one that I had here, and I was looking at all the different color reds, and it's basically a true red, but I like the idea that it says opaque, and it seems to be doing the trick here. So, so yeah, so I'm gonna paint my little heart away on these little flowers, these little puppy flowers, and once I get that dry, then I'll start on the centers and the leaves right here that I have as well. So that is my plan of action. It's actually, and then what I'll probably do is I'll have this red. I notice over here like there is some white peeking through, but I plan on doing some shadowing with a different shade of red, so I'll come back and do that with you guys. Alright, you guys, so I've got the centers painted black, and I've got my leaves somewhat messily done. And now I'm just going to go in here and start adding some shadowing to really give these poppy little flowers some dimension and some personality. So I'm using True Burgundy as my choice paint. I was trying to go with like a darker red, but it just didn't show up. So now I'm just going to kind of go in here and do some outlining and do my best to give it some dimension and not so flat looking. I tell you what, I really love the contrast of these poppies with the green train case. So yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to do to all the flowers, and then I'll come in here also with the leaves, and then I'll check back with you guys. Alright, then they turn out so beautiful. They're so pretty. I still got to do some highlighting on this side, but I did add some white highlighting here. And then now I'm ready to move into the inside. I'm printing out some things, so if you hear my printer going, I'm getting the stickers ready for the 6 months kits. So, yeah, multitasking here. So, with my rainbow, let me see if it's better. Well, I have to do it this way. Okay. I went ahead and did my white paint. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can get it in the picture here. It's kind of weird angle, you guys, but what I think I'm going to do is come in here with some pale blue and go ahead and kind of do some swishing. This is a light blue color, but I think I'm going to go ahead and add in some of my, excuse me, kind of do some clouding, the skies in there. And I'm going to do some swishing like this and just kind of cover that edge up. So I'm going to work on my blue over here a little bit, and then we're going to add in our rainbow. It was a really hard decision for me to figure out what exactly I wanted to do as far as, oh no, I lost my lid, as far as a scene, because there's so many cute scenes throughout the movie that, and then some of the projects that we're going to do, I started thinking about, ooh, I could use that, because we have a wooden house that we're going to do, and I talked about that earlier on. And I was like, oh, I said, oh, I could do, that would be really cute to do like a scene, you know, but I think what I'm going to do instead is kind of go with my original plan. My pink paint here has kind of got a big clump on it. Okay, I'm going to, instead of doing red, I was looking at my Lisa Frank folder over there a few minutes ago, and I was like, oh, she doesn't really use red. She does like a pink instead of a red, and I love pink. Pink is my color. So, let's see here. Let me get a different brush. I want to get a flat brush. But I'm just going to come in here. Oh, this one's. And I know this is probably going to be a couple of, what do you call it? Layers to get my colors of where I want them to be. And again, it's messy. It's a little awkward for me to paint over the train case here, but I want them to kind of just blend together. So, and I'm just going to do a half a rainbow up. I really need to change out my water, but okay, so the next color is bright orange. Let me shake this up a little bit more. I had some paints I've been using, and then I found these. This is Vivid Orange. Let's see what it looks like. And I was so excited because I knew I had bought some new paints a while back, and I was like, where are those? And I was like, well, these must be them. But no, then I found them. Yeah, one day I'll have my studio together. Okay, so we're going to do orange. So yeah, so I decided to go with a quote on this lid here. So what I'm going to do is paint my rainbow, paint my quote, and then we're going to add some trim. And I'm going to say this project is it's never going to be like done until I say it, till it's like done, right? And I feel like with us having so much fun this month that I may want to be adding some things as I go along. So I don't want to. And my daughter came and she goes, what else are you going to do on the outside? And I said, well, that's it. I'm just going to do poppies. And she said, who are you, mother? Because I'm so like over the top. And, you know, we like to have our extra stuff. But I'm just going to blend this in. The yellow in with the orange. But I might do polka dots. Kind of thinking about it. But again, that's one of those things that it's like, I like to, when I do my artwork, I like to say I have it rest. Because are you guys seeing this good enough? I'm sorry for not. I wish I could hold it up like this, but the train case is super awkward. So, what's the next color on the rainbow, you guys? Is it green? I'm sitting there going, I can't remember. This is lime green. This is one color that I use a lot in my artwork. I don't know why. I love this color green. But I like to call it resting. Because to me, sometimes when I used to do a lot of canvases, I would start them, and I always worked at night, so I would leave them, and then I said, oh, they gotta rest, because then the next evening when I would be ready to work on them again, they had an opportunity, my eyes had an opportunity to look at all these other things in the world, and then decide, oh, that would look better, you know, with this, or, you know, those kind of things. So that's why I like to have, when you're working on a project, I like to have it resting. And then I'm going to come in here with a blue. Again, this is, let's see, Cayman blue. Seems like I grab this quite a bit too when I'm working on projects. Oh my gosh, you guys, I had a dream the other night. I have crazy dreams, by the way. But this one was about, it was a kind of a nightmare. It was like I was being held captive, but my captor, I have no idea who it was, by the way. They were making me wear blue, and I could only wear blue. And I like blue, but it's not like my favoriteest color. My favorite color is pink and orange and yellow, but mostly pink. And they were making me wear blue, and I was very upset. Now, what kind of dream is that? And it was all blue. Blue pants, blue shirts, blue dresses, blue. It was just all blue. Okay, this is a lavender. It's not a bright, dark purple. It's more of a light purple. Because I'm kind of going with some more lighter colors than primary here. And I love it. So happy. And yes, this rainbow's super messy, but I'll be able to come in here and do some adjustments once it's dry. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and fill in with this other blue. And this is where I thought I could do a scene, but I'm going to do my quote right here. And it might be kind of difficult to do on film, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do it a marker or how I'm going to go about doing that. I can't really see what I'm doing over here. I'm peeking over the train case. So that's kind of it. And then I'm going to add a quote in here. I think what I'm going to do is take a pencil. I'll probably write it in cursive. And then I'll probably go over it with a... I bought me some new permanent markers, some Sharpies. So I'll probably use it and I'll come back and show you guys. And like I said, what I'll probably do is come in here and do some highlights in it as well, which is take white paint like I did on those poppies on the front. And then I'm going to call this probably good for now. And then we'll go from there. My husband just came in and said it is hot outside. So, okay, I'll be back when I do my writing. Hello you guys. So my creative station is complete. Well, it's kind of complete. It's a work in progress, I think, as far as like adding things. Like I'm still on the fence if I want to put some like polka dots on here, but I think overall it's done. I added some pretty little red ruffles here, and then let me show you the inside of it. I did not add my lettering yet because I have my rainbow, and then the rest of it's just like it normally was. But I think what I'm going to do is put stamps in here, because when I started writing with my pencil, it started scraping the paint off. Again, I just painted it, so that could be the case. I am going to be sealing this at the end of camp with a Mod Podge. That's what I normally do with all my train cases, but it's a decoupage. It's not the brand Mod Podge, but it's the decoupage that I really like. That doesn't create it to be any kind of sticky. So once I have it all painted and I'm happy with it, now, but I still may add a few different things on there, and definitely want to add some more to my insides here. Yeah, I just repainted. I went over the paint again, so yeah, it needs to dry. But it's been fun. Once it dries, I'm going to add more things to it. So it's been fun, and I'm going to be able to keep my journal in there while we play this month. So, all right, you guys, it's been a blast. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July, and I will see you in the next video. We're going to be making our covers to our journals. It's coming together. All right, you guys have a great, sparkly rest of the day. Bye-bye.